Sunrise, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you can't help but look over your shoulder at that hurricane, but locally, frost.
Yes, frost is really the only thing we're dealing with today. We're going to see lots of sun. I mean, it's on the cooler side, but a pretty nice late October day today. But yeah, let's talk about the very latest on that hurricane. Again, it's the elephant in the room here as it slowly approaches the island of Jamaica. Again, it is still right now a Category 5 storm. Which is slowly approaching at around maybe 115 miles from the coast, or at least of Kingston, Jamaica right there. 175 mile per hour winds, and the worst part of the system, it's moving so slow, 2 miles an hour. It is dumping incredible amounts of rain on the island. Only hope that we can see some good news from this system, which might not likely be the case here. And you can see here again, it's going to likely make landfall as we head into the next few hours, likely in the early to mid-morning. And then weaken into a Category 4 as we head into tomorrow as it approaches the island of Cuba. And again, we'll track this more coming up in a couple of minutes and whether that might impact anywhere else, either in the Caribbean or anywhere else in the Western Hemisphere. Again, we are frosty this morning, temperatures in the 20s, some isolated pockets of fog, but not the case here in downtown Utica with clear skies. Next 12 hours, warming up into the mid-50s, lots of sunshine, quiet, pleasant fall day out there. But again, we'll be talking a bit more about the latest on Melissa coming up in a few minutes, and Gary again has more on that right now.
Eric, thanks. And as you mentioned, Melissa, now a powerful Category 5 storm continues to move through the Caribbean and is approaching Jamaica just a little over 100 miles away. At least 3 storm-related deaths have been confirmed in Haiti, along with 1 fatality in the Dominican Republic. In Jamaica right there, forecasters said that this storm will unleash catastrophic flooding, landslides, and extensive infrastructure damage. It's targeted to make landfall again later this morning. It will be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851. It will then hit Cuba later in the day before heading toward the Bahamas, but it was not expected to affect the United States. The Oneida County District.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Tracking some fog there in some locations in the southern valleys. Here's your forecast in a minute as you head out to work this morning. First off, we take a look at some area roadways, and again, in much of the local area, well, it's not really that foggy, at least in these cameras here, but again, you headed some isolated spots this morning. You might see some of that fog forming. We'll talk about that here shortly, but first, live look at the radar. Things are dry at this hour. You're going to have to budget maybe an extra minute again to scrape some frost off your windshield this morning, too. Personally, the frost was not nearly as thick as it was yesterday, at least in my neck of the woods, but depends on location. Either way, you might have to budget an extra minute or so for that. So what are we tracking? Well, it's again a frosty start this morning. We warm up into the 50s with a pretty dry day today as well as tomorrow, but we are looking at a big pattern change ahead as you look to the middle of the week. So this morning we're in the 50s, lots of sunshine this afternoon, and then as we head into the next few days, we'll see the dry conditions and we'll see rain chances increase, especially on Thursday. We'll track that rainfall and of course have the latest on Hurricane Melissa coming up in a few minutes. Gary.
Eric, thanks. Happening later this morning, a water line repair.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 5:17, and we begin with a quiet look at downtown Utica. Early this morning, we have some frost early today, and I did take a look at some of that fog potential. It is very isolated this morning, only focused primarily in locations in the southern tier and a few isolated pockets in the southern valleys, maybe 1 or 2 pockets in the Adirondacks, but it wasn't really visible on satellite. Still, though, 29 degrees, calm winds. And as you look at the bigger picture here, we have high pressure in place, and that is keeping our weather dry. It's also keeping weather pretty sunny this afternoon, so pretty nice late October day here across the region expected today. Even tomorrow looking nice with a few more increasing clouds. So again, it's dry today, tomorrow. Rain showers roll their way in Thursday and Friday, bringing that pattern change. And yes, there's frost likely this morning and tomorrow morning. Thursday and Friday morning, we're going to see little to no frost as those temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer to start the day. But back to the tropical tracker Hurricane Melissa, 175 mile per hour winds. The pressure right here nearing 800 millibars. Again, that is a very, very low pressure we're dealing with here. So 901, very low. It is going to move its way through the island of Jamaica, the southeastern portion of Cuba, potentially entering locations in the Bahamas here, or at least the southern tip of it. But notice here, we have a cold front. That cold front is saving Florida. It is saving a lot of the east coast of the U.S., pushing that hurricane out to sea. So that's the silver lining here in what is an already tragic situation for the island of Jamaica. But again, thankfully here it's not impacting any of us in the mainland U.S. So in our Skycast today, there's lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 50s. Tonight, we're down into the 30s with quiet weather, frost forming yet again. And then tomorrow, we start out with some sunshine. We'll see a few clouds roll their way in as we approach the late evening. And then overnight, we're going to see rain showers approach quickly. 6 a.m. Thursday, widespread rain rolling their way in for pretty much the early morning to the early part of the afternoon. A dry slot here and there, but just overall, it's a very damp and rainy pattern as we approach Thursday. Eventually, Friday, most importantly, being Halloween. How is it shaping up? Well, still there's the back side of that low that could drag in some moisture, not only from Lake Ontario, but also just from the moisture from the system in general. So either way, might be a bit of a rainy one for Halloween for trick-or-treating, so maybe keep that umbrella handy if you're heading out to trick-or-treat on Friday. Your 7-day forecast, we have a couple more showers to deal with on Saturday, and then as we head into Sunday, it's that time of year, turning those clocks back to standard time this hour, which will push our sunsets an hour earlier, which, yes, will make the evenings darker, but we will start to see some sunshine again here on sunrise, Gary. The sunrise a little earlier in the morning, so that's the silver lining here. But, yes, definitely some changes on the way weather-wise.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. And while Hurricane Melissa is about to slam Jamaica this morning, Cuba is also bracing for its impact. But after moving through Jamaica today with catastrophic winds, torrential rain, and dangerous storm surges, tractors are being used to move carts with tanks of drinking water to prepare for the storm. And the heavy equipment was also used to clear streets and dredge canals to mitigate potential flooding from heavy rains and storm surge. Residents have boarded up windows, reinforced rooftops, and evacuated from low-lying areas as the storm edges closer to Cuba. Authorities have activated emergency shelters, suspended flights, and deployed disaster response teams nationwide. The time right now is 5 again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor, meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, quite frosty out there this morning.
Yeah, frosty conditions to start your day today. We begin with a live look at the current conditions out there in the 20s. 29 officially in Rome, 27 Hamilton. We're at 31 in Johnstown. So you're going to want to budget an extra minute or two to either scrape your windshield or maybe turn on that defroster early before you head out to work today. So that's really about it impact-wise for the weather across central New York early today. A live look at downtown Utica. It is a dry and clear morning out there. You have a great view of the night sky, too. Plenty of stars to be visible here. And then again, today we start out on the chilly side. We warm up into the mid-50s with plenty of sunshine. Now, we have another nice day tomorrow, but we are tracking the arrival of widespread rain as we head into Thursday. We'll track it hour by hour, and we'll have the latest on the Halloween forecast, too, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody. On this Tuesday morning, our photo of the day today takes us to a very colorful spot here in central New York. This is in Dolgeville, or at least between Dolgeville and Salisbury Corners, but really only fit one town name up on the top there without having it get cut off. So shout out to Dolgeville and Salisbury Corners. Figure shout out both of you guys, or both of those towns. And a shout out to Alan and Evelyn for this photo here. I picked this with the colorful sky, and more importantly, what stuck out to me was that solo tree there in the field. See that bright red tree just sticking out in that tree line? And that is a beautiful shot of a tree. And of course of that fall scene in the backdrop there. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, showcasing the beauty of fall in your neck of the woods, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. So again, a big thank you to Alan and Evelyn for that photo submission. So today we begin in the 30s and 20s. It is a cool morning out there. We warm up into the 50s this afternoon. More sunshine expected tomorrow too. A few more clouds increasing as we head into Thursday. You can see that widespread rain icon right there. Potentially a rainy one for Halloween too, but will that fare the same for the rest of the weekend? We're going to dive into the hour-by-hour forecast for rainfall later on this week, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A cruise ship arrived in Portland, Maine.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Clear skies this morning and even some frost as you head out to your car or wherever you plan on heading this morning. It's taking a live look at downtown Utica. You can see, of course, it's a quiet, clear start to your day today. Temperature beginning at 29 officially in Rome, and still calm winds, not too bad weather-wise today. Yes, highs only in the mid-50s, but for late October, seeing wall-to-wall sunshine in mid-50s, that's not bad. That's a pretty nice day, so definitely get out and enjoy it today. Maybe go out for a late afternoon walk. Still, yes, maybe bundle up a little bit, but just enjoy the sunshine and the dry weather while we have it, because might be different stories we head toward later on this week, I should say. It's dry today and tomorrow. Widespread rain arrives Thursday and into Friday. Now, although the rain chances increase, frost chances decrease. We go from a likelihood of frost to this morning and tomorrow morning to Thursday and Friday morning, unlikely if any, due to those temperatures likely remaining in the 40s. So we go to the tropics right now, which again is home to a very, very strong, potentially historic hurricane set to impact Jamaica in only a couple of hours. It is likely going to hit maybe 7, 8, 9 a.m. our time. Of course, with Jamaica, it is an hour earlier than us in the time zone, so it'd be closer to 6, 7 a.m. their time. But I do want to say it's going to hit the southeastern corner of Cuba as a Category 4. But notice this line here, that cold front, that is going to prevent that hurricane from hitting the mainland U.S. So due to the weather pattern, this is what's causing that hurricane to get hooked eastward, that cold front that is just along the border of Florida heading toward the Caribbean and the Bahamas. So on our Skycast here locally, we have lots of sunshine today, highs in the mid-50s. Tonight, a little frosty, lows in the 30s, and then tomorrow, still plenty of sunshine, a few more clouds increasing as we head toward the evening. Our model here not really showing a whole lot of cloud cover, but personally I think we'll see a few more wispy clouds rolling at least in the late evening. And then by early Thursday, widespread rain really kicks in. It'll be a rainy morning commute, a rainy afternoon, and a rainy evening. So if you have any outdoor plans, maybe putting away some things, putting out Halloween decorations last minute, I recommend not doing it on Thursday due to that breezy and rainy stretch of weather we'll be expecting. It will dry up overnight, but we will see some more lingering rain as we head into Halloween itself. Wraparound rain showers possible. Yes, you can see here on this model there's some blues and pinks, potentially some mixing in the higher elevations. It's not that likely, but there could be maybe some graupel mixed in as well, or just mixed in with rainfall, basically. It's not anything accumulation-wise that we'll be tracking for the next few days. As you can see here, overall temperatures will be in the 50s for pretty much the next 5 to 7 days. More notably on Sunday, turn those clocks back an hour. Reminder, it takes place overnight, Saturday into Sunday. You can maybe get an extra hour of sleep, but the sunset will be a little bit earlier in the evening, too.
Yeah, it gets dark early, boy.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, here is a look at the empty streets in Kingston.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you can't help but look over your shoulder at that monster of a hurricane.
Yes, almost a historic storm by some accounts here in the Caribbean. In fact, let's take a look at where it is right now. We'll get to the current conditions here shortly. But I do want to address the elephant in the room here, which is that there is a Category 5 massive hurricane expected to make landfall in a Caribbean island, which is Jamaica, in the next couple of hours. Again, it is right around 115 miles now southwest of Kingston, Jamaica, which is, of course, over here. So the actual coast itself is a little bit closer. 175 mile-per-hour winds. Keep in mind that the tornado that hit Rome was less than that in the wind speed, and that was only briefly. So sustained winds of that strength, along with 20, 30, 40 inches of rainfall is not going to be a good outcome for Jamaica. So again, prayers up for Jamaica and the surrounding areas as this hurricane continues to move its way north and east. Here locally, thankfully, weather is pretty much entirely quiet. We just have a little bit of frost to deal with this morning. That frost will lift. We'll be tracking some sunshine with clear skies out there this morning, turning to a beautiful late October day here in the Mohawk Valley. Highs in the 50s. Now, over the next couple of days, we're going to see some more dry weather tomorrow, but we are tracking some rainfall as we head into Thursday. We'll track that, plus we'll have the latest on that Halloween forecast, as well as the latest track of Hurricane Melissa. But again, Gary is a little bit more on that right now.
Eric, thanks. As you mentioned, Hurricane Melissa, now a Category 5, continues to move through the Caribbean and is approaching Jamaica a little over 100 miles away. Now, at least 3 storm-related deaths have already been confirmed in Haiti, along with 1 fatality in the Dominican Republic. In Jamaica, though, forecasters said this storm will unleash catastrophic flooding, landslides, and extensive infrastructure damage. It's targeted to make landfall in the next couple of hours, as Eric mentioned, and it will be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851. It will then hit Cuba later in the day before heading toward the Bahamas, but it is not expected to affect the United States. The United County District Attorney's Office's appeal attempt.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:12, and here's your forecast in a minute as you head out to work early today. To start out, here's a live look at road conditions. Again, due to the skies being pretty much entirely clear, there's no rainfall, no wet roadways, but what you will have to do is look out for some frost on your windshield. Might have to budget a few extra seconds for that. In fact, I would say maybe an extra minute or so. Personally, the frost on my windshield this morning wasn't as thick as it was last night, but still, just again, budget a little bit extra time for that early today. What can you track this morning? Well, we have a frosty start, a sunny day today. Lots of sun and calm winds for the most part. It's going to be dry again tomorrow. So if you have any plans today and tomorrow outdoors, your best bet, because of the big pattern change ahead, especially as we head into Thursday. But again, today, lots of sunshine, highs in the 50s. We look at the next few days, 50s today and tomorrow, cooling down a little bit on Thursday with that widespread rain. We're going to track this rainfall hour by hour coming up in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Happening later this morning, a water line repair in
Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now 6:17, and we begin with a frosty start, but a quiet start to your day today. Clear skies across much of the area. Live look at downtown Utica. We can see mainly clear skies. Of course, the sunrise will be here shortly, producing some early morning twilight. Some fog is relatively isolated today. It's not really that widespread. Some pockets in the southern valleys and North Country seeing it, but here locally, there's not a whole lot of fog going on right now. Current conditions, 28 degrees. We dropped 1 degree compared to an hour ago, with still some calm winds. It's going to be a pretty nice day here across central New York. Yes, we're not talking 70s and 80s like we were accustomed to in September and even earlier this month, but for late October, 55 and sunny. That's not bad here in Mohawk Valley. So we'll take this nice weather. Again, the high pressure keeping things quiet here today and tomorrow. But a pattern shift is ahead of us Thursday and Friday. We're expecting some rainfall, especially, of course, as we head into Halloween. The rainfall will not be nearly as heavy as Thursday, but still be lingering. Frost is likely again this morning and tomorrow morning, and then by Thursday and Friday, you won't have to budget extra time to scrape off the windshield, but you'll have to keep that umbrella handy toward the end of the week, as I mentioned. So with the weather looking quiet the next couple of days, the only area pretty much in the Western Hemisphere that has pretty notable weather to be expected is right here in the Caribbean. Category 5 massive hurricane Melissa is expected to make landfall on Jamaica in the next couple of hours. Moving very slow, around 5 miles per hour right now. Central pressure 901 millibars. Fancy talk in meteorology for that storm is incredibly strong. Then it's going to move through southeastern Cuba and then head out to sea. See this cold front right here? You got to thank this cold front for protecting Florida and the East Coast from this massive, again, destructive hurricane that is likely going to cause some significant damage and potentially some very worse situations for Jamaica over the next couple of hours. We can only hope that things trend in a lighter note as we get more news later on this morning as it hits land. Here locally, again, we got sunshine, quiet weather. It's a beautiful day today here in central New York. Highs in the 50s. Tonight, a little frosty, lows in the 30s. Now tomorrow, it's going to be in the 50s again with plenty of sun. We're going to see a few more clouds roll in as we head into the evening, especially overnight. And here comes that widespread rain. It arrives pretty much throughout the entire morning on Thursday. Even in the afternoon, a few pockets of dry weather here and there, drying out overnight, and then some lingering wraparound showers expected on Halloween. So when it comes to the trick-or-treat forecast, I think for now we're really focused on some lingering moderate to light rainfall. So just maybe wear a rain jacket. I know the costumes won't be as cool, but either have an umbrella or something. But either way, temperatures will be in the 50s, in the 40s eventually for trick-or-treating night.
Yeah, good tips.
Yes, stay dry.
Yeah. Eric, thanks for sure to let once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor, meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, it is quite a frosty late October morning out there.
Yes, temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Definitely a chilly one to start your day today, so bundle up. In fact, look at those temperatures here across the area. We begin in the 20s, 28 degrees in Rome, 31 Johnstown, 37, actually even warmer up in Saranac Lake, where there are a few clouds still lingering. So we're dealing with that this morning up there, and a few isolated pockets of fog. But that's really about it, condition-wise. Live look at downtown Utica. We have clear skies, an early preview of that morning twilight. By the way, this is the time of year we see some of our latest sunrises because, of course, the clocks turn back an hour on Sunday. By Saturday, it will be our latest sunrise, one of the latest sunrises of the year. So this is going to show you just how late this timing for that sunrise is right now. So this morning we begin in the 20s. We climb into the 50s by this afternoon with plenty of sunshine, and we're going to be tracking the potential rainfall we're going to see later on this week. Plus, we'll have the latest on Hurricane Melissa coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Trump is holding his first meeting with Japan's
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Our photo of the day takes us to the corners of, or at least the Dolgeville area to Salisbury Corners. I couldn't fit both areas there, so I picked just one, but don't worry, I'm shouting out those of you in Salisbury Corners as well. Still, though, it's a photo sent in by Alan and Evelyn of a crisp fall morning out there. And this photo, I noticed something in the foreground there, that beautiful red tree and I guess the silhouette of it behind it, which is the fall foliage, the at least more dull fall foliage behind it. Either way, it stuck out to me, so amazing photo sent in this morning. And if you have one of your neck of the woods showcasing some fall colors or anything fall related, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. I'd love to see some of the amazing submissions you can showcase, again, in your corner of central New York here on Sunrise. So today we begin in the 20s and 30s, sunshine. There's more sun tomorrow too. Thursday, though, we'll begin a pattern change. We'll track that arriving rainfall as well as how Halloween's shaping up on Friday, coming up in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A cruise ship arrived in Portland, Maine on Monday.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. We begin with a frosty start to your day today. Weather, aside from that, looking relatively quiet. A live look at downtown Utica. Traffic starting to pick up as that morning rush hour is slowly approaching here in the city. And the current conditions right now sitting at 28 degrees. So if you're heading out to work, maybe budget a little bit of extra time to either scrape the frost off the windshield or maybe do some defrosting early today. Either way, it's a light frost, at least what I dealt with personally, at least compared to yesterday. But depending on location, just budget a little extra time for that. High pressure is in power here today, which is going to produce sunshine, dry weather, a beautiful late October day in the 50s. Can't really get better than that. Well, maybe you could get 60s to 70s, but this time of year, it gets more and more difficult to hit that temperature mark. So it's dry today, it's dry tomorrow. You have any outdoor plans, any last-minute fall things to get done, even before Halloween or whatnot? These are the days to do it. Rain showers return Thursday and Friday, especially as we head into Halloween. But we will see less of a chance for frost. The overnight temperatures will be maybe in the 40s. Thursday and Friday morning. So when it comes to frost, again, this morning and tomorrow morning are last chances for seeing that, at least for the next couple of days. So while the weather is quiet here locally, we're still tracking Hurricane Melissa, which is about to make landfall in Jamaica in just a short while. Still a Category 5, 175-mile-per-hour winds. By the way, yesterday, so the way they get measurements from this hurricane, they actually fly planes into the hurricane. They're called hurricane hunters. You can look them up too. It's very interesting job. They actually had to abort their mission yesterday because of how turbulent this hurricane was. It is a strong hurricane making landfall, moving very slowly through the island of Jamaica, the southeastern corner of Cuba, and then it's going to head out to sea. This cold front right here pushing out of Florida is going to save the mainland U.S. from seeing any impacts of this hurricane. Anything rain-wise we're going to see the next few days will not be involved with Melissa. It heads out in the North Atlantic and continues to weaken. So here locally, we've got lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 50s by tonight. We're back down into the 30s. Have another frosty morning to start your day tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, plenty of sun for much of the day, highs in the 50s. Then we'll see clouds increase in the evening and overnight from that approaching low pressure. And Thursday, it's going to be a rainy one for your morning commute, even for noontime as well. There could be some dry slots mixing in here and there toward the evening, but either way, we've got some widespread rain to deal with. Heading the overnight, a bit of a dry slot again, and then wraparound rain showers could arrive as we head into Halloween. So if you're planning on trick-or-treating on Friday, well, you might have to keep an umbrella handy. Highs for the next few days expected to peak only in the low 50s, so very fall-like. Lingering rain showers Saturday, drying up a little bit on Sunday, turning those clocks back an hour, getting an extra hour of sleep. But also, we're going to see some more sunshine in the sunrise shows. It's been quite a while. It's been so dark in the mornings.
Yeah, look at that. All sunshine all day long today.
Yep.
Eric, thanks. Right now, a live look.